Hi, my name's Sheehan, and today I'd like to talk about Psycho, the 1960 Alfred Hitchcock film, of course extremely famous. And I'd like to talk about the structure of this film and also some of the themes which are found in this film. Now, the film is, you could say, is in 5 acts. The first act revolves around Marion, and Marion is this office worker who who's been entrusted with this money at work by this drunken guy. But she decides the temptation's too great for her and she takes the money and runs. And she sees her employer on the way out of town in her car. And the first act really is about her moving out of the town in her car, feeling incredibly paranoid that she's been followed. She falls asleep and she by the side of the road. She's woken up by a policeman who has suspicions about her. She sells her car and gets a new one. Still the policeman's after her. And eventually she gives the policeman the slip, and that brings us into Act 2. Act 2 is where she gets to the Bates Motel and she meets Norman Bates, of course, for the first time. Norman Bates is this seemingly kind of innocent figure, slightly childlike, played brilliantly by Anthony Perkins, of course. And but it soon becomes apparent that he's talking to his mother. Marion overhears him talking to his mother, and things aren't quite as they seem. And of course, we have this extremely famous scene where Marion's murdered in the shower, and we all know the famous music that goes with that by Bernard Herrmann as well. In fact, the music throughout is brilliant, absolutely wonderful. So then Norman gets rid of the body and sticks her car in the lake. Act 3, the focus turns to Marion's sister Lila, Marion's boyfriend Sam, who we saw right at the beginning of the film, and this private investigator Abergast, who's been employed by Cassidy, the guy whose money was stolen by Marion. And they're determined to find Marion. Where's she gone? Initially, they think she's with Sam, her boyfriend, but that's not the case. And they start to make investigations. And Abergast investigates the motel. And he gets there, and, once again, Norman Bates is kind of playing all innocent. It's really interesting the way he's portrayed. He's just the way he flicks from one character to another almost. It's really fascinating. Sadly for Abergast, it turns bad for him, and eventually he makes his way into the big house where Bates's mother lives, and he's stabbed and he falls down the stairs. Act 4 is all about Lila and Sam trying to get the help of the sheriff in town. They wake him up late at night and the sheriff tries to call Norman, but Norman successfully he doesn't answer the phone, and the sheriff's a bit sceptical about the whole thing. And then we see Norman take his mother down from upstairs down into the basement. And Act 5 is very much the denouement, when things are brought to their thrilling conclusion. Sam and Lila confront Norman at the motel after pretending to be guests initially. Lila makes her way into the house, and she makes the shocking discovery of Norman's mother in the basement. And of course, Norman's mother is this kind of dried out, rotting corpse, which he's stuck a wig on, etc. And it transpires that Norman's the murderer. He just goes around in her clothes killing people. Sam, despite being knocked out cold by Norman a little bit earlier, manages to come and save Lila just as Norman's about to kill her. And then we have this coda where Norman's there's been a court case, and the psychiatrist in the case is deemed that he's just insane. He's like this, suffers from extreme schizophrenia, where he kind of his mother's taken over. Really, there was half his mother, half Norman, but now his mother's completely taken hold. And we see this chilling scene with Norman in his cell right at the very end. So that's the structure of the film. It's kind of in 5 acts, a very strong structure, really. And then some of the themes include, of course, this kind of sense of the over dominating mother figure, perhaps a bit of the Oedipus complex as well, in the way Norman kind of gives over to his mother, or his supposed mother, all the time. Of course, there's a sense of voyeurism as well. You see Norman looking through a hole in the wall from his office into the lady Marian's room. There's a sense of the policeman as well, kind of keeping a lookout and tracking Marian. He's, famously has these like black, impenetrable sunglasses on. Of course, there's the sense of schizophrenia and mental collapse. Obviously, murder and serial killing as well. Theft. It's a thrilling film, and of course it's extremely famous, and no one needs me to talk about it, but I just wanted to share my thoughts as I just watched it recently. And I've just included a brief slideshow kind of summing up what I've just been talking about as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.